Analysts fear that Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras could take advantage of the months separating the end of Greece's third bailout program and the implementation of some unpleasant reforms and ask Greeks to go to the ballot earlier than expected. His legislature is set to finish in September 2019, almost 1 year after the end of the third bailout program, which has seen Greece receiving a €86 billion, about £75 billion loan from international lenders over the past 3 years. Some of the key reforms that the government will have to take to pay back the creditors include cuts to pensions, which will come to effect in January 2019. According to some analysts, this time span would give Mr. Tsipras a perfect opportunity for early elections. Kyriakos Mitsotakis, the leader of the center-right opposition party New Democracy, told Bloomberg last month, "There's a distinct possibility that the elections will take place in the second half of 2018. There's a distinct possibility that the elections will take place in the second half of 2018. Kyriakos Mitsotakis, New Democracy Party leader. New Democracy is likely to welcome the possibility of early election, as the party has been leading the polls since January 2016. Latest surveys show that the party would get almost 29% of votes if there was an election today, 10 points more than Mr. Tsipras' left-wing party Syriza. Joan Hoey, director for Europe at The Economist Intelligence Unit, told CNBC, Syriza has trailed in the polls behind the opposition center-right New Democracy since the election in January 2016 of Kyriakos Mitsotakis as New Democracy leader. However, she warned, the polls are likely to narrow ahead of the next election. Getty Greece's Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras could call for a snap election as soon as this summer. Tsipras is an effective political campaigner, and Syriza has a natural support base in the public sector. A government led by New Democracy could mean bad news for the EU. Despite being leader of a centrist party, Mr. Mitsotakis spoke out against the austerity imposed by Brussels. At the end of 2017 he said in an interview, "Austerity should not be confused with reforms. We've had too much austerity in Greece and too little reforms." Getty New Democracy leader Kyriakos Mitsotakis is leading the poll. He added, "Until now, unfortunately, every time we talk to Greeks about reforms, the first thing that comes to mind is tax increases and pensions cuts. I think it may be about time, without escaping from our obligations, that we consider rebalancing our policies in favor of reforms." On the other hand, another government led by Mr. Tsipras could also represent a danger for the EU. By the end of the bailout, experts believe he will be able to tell Greeks that the country is free from the EU's control, which has forced it to implement massive cuts, and to start a new set of policies to raise Athens' profile in the world.